So, hi, Brandi.
Hi.
Welcome, folks. We're going to get started with our Ask Us Anything. Today, it is Brandi and I hosting. Emily was going to be here, but couldn't make it due to some unforeseen circumstances, but that's okay. We're going to move forward. So, if you're just joining or if this is your first time, we're going to go through just a couple agenda items and then spend a lot of time on open Q&A. So if you have questions, you are welcome to ask them in either the Zoom, if you're on Zoom, chat Q&A box, or if you're on Facebook or YouTube, you are welcome to just make a comment and we magically will see those comments. And then we'll get to them when we get to questions. So thanks for joining. First things first, let's look at the agenda. We're getting a little more official with how we do these Ask Us Anythings. So we're going to talk about some events we're going to. We're going to go over some updates for scheduled scripts and rich text, look at some recent releases. Brandi's going to do a deep dive on automated remediation. We had some requests for that. We have some new features we're rolling out live on this webinar. We've been making a habit of that. People seem to enjoy that. And we're going to talk about some resources that we've been rolling out. And then we'll do some open Q&A. But if you want to submit questions at any point throughout this, go ahead. So first of all, some of our team are at Channel Pro in Dallas. So if you're in Dallas, you're going to go into Channel Pro. Feel free to stop by the booth, say hi. We'd love to chat with you. And that is why Andy's not here, because he's in Dallas. Okay. Some product updates. Let me make sure I get this right. Okay. So a couple updates. One on scheduled scripts. I know everybody wants to hear about that. We have some issues with scheduled scripts not running. And I wanted to just give an update on that. So our engineering team has determined a significant source of this scheduled scripts not running, and it's due to the scheduler app we've been using in the background. So while that implementation has served us well in the past, we've determined that at our current scale, it is no longer a service we can leverage reliably. So we have been in the process of building a replacement, and we are confident that you guys will see a huge impact on that as soon as that ships. So we're going to track. We have really good graphs and all kinds of things now that show us the impact. So we're going to be tracking that, and we'll know the results as soon as we're able to roll that out. So that is an update on scheduled scripts. On rich text, so as you know, we rolled that out to early access folks who wanted to get their hands on it early. We began a phased rollout of it to everyone else on January 10th. In the second phase of the rollout, we discovered some new issues that have been impacting a small subset of accounts. So we've paused the rollout. We want to, get those resolved. We recognize that this feature is a huge enhancement to an important workflow. We just want to make sure we get it right. So we're going to move this feature to an open state where MSPs can opt in or out as we continue to roll it out. So you can choose whether you're using the feature or not. So stay tuned for communication on that. In the meantime, you can check the known issues board in the community forum to stay up to date on the latest status of any of the issues with rich text. So you'll be getting more information on that. Okay. Let's go over some release notes. So I purposely didn't make like a fancy slide for this because I think everybody should know you can go view the release notes in the community forum whenever you want. So we've been getting better about posting those on a regular basis. So a couple things that have been updated. We did a small feature where we added less boot time. We showed that in the last Ask Us Anything. We also fixed a ton of issues, bugs and stuff like that in all kinds of areas, everywhere from reporting, assets, ticketing, etc. So if you want to go and check any of those changes out, that is in the community forums. in the release notes section. So lots more to come there in the future, and happy to answer any questions there. Let's move on. Brandi, it's your show.
Hello, everyone. I'm Brandi Crown. It's been a while since I've been here on one of these webinars. So I see some names in here, which are really nice to see. I haven't seen you guys in a while. So I'm going to do a deep dive on automated remediations. And the reason why, a lot of you guys have used Syncro for a really long time, but we may have new people to Ask Us Anything. We may have new people to Syncro in general. And this is a very powerful feature. So we just want to make sure when we get the opportunity to show you guys features, we'd love to do so to hopefully improve your efficiencies. So again, this is one of my favorite features in the whole system. And because Syncro is a fully embedded, oh, you don't want to share that slide yet. I'll share my screen here in a second with you guys. But because Syncro is a fully embedded PSA and RMM, this module is very, very powerful. It's going to connect the two in what I like to call an automagic way. So it also happens to be one of those modules in the system that truly allows you to make more money in your sleep. You're able to create automations, and really you're able to do automated actions based on specific conditions. And I'm going to show you an example here. So let me get my screen up here. And I always like to let people know how to get there. There are a couple ways to get there inside of the system. But my favorite way is just to head over to the assets and RMM screen and then pop over into automated remediations. So here is my example. Here, let's just pretend that my trigger category is just going to be that, hey, a device has low hard drive space. It's a pretty easy one. There's really no reason for you to spend any time and effort here if we can solve it quickly without you lifting a finger whatsoever. So I have my condition set, trigger category, low hard drive space. And then from here, I just want to do something very simple. I'm going to run a script. We have an awesome community script library, which I pulled this clean temp file script from. And then I'm just going to go ahead and clear the alert. There's really nothing else to be done here. Now, I could also set up a second one that, or maybe this script is going to fire a new automated remediation if the issue persists. And this doesn't solve it. So you could do that. And maybe even in the second automation, you want to set it up to say, let's convert this into a ticket. You could, of course, auto assign this to a specific technician. You can set everything up right here. And I can even pre-fill these fields. I also want to just point out a couple other conditions that I think are noteworthy here. So if you want to set any of these up to say, all right, I'm going to do this, let's just do inside or outside of business hours. So maybe you have someone on call outside of business hours and you want this to assign to that technician, you could do that. And you can even set up customer specific automation. So maybe you have like a VIP client. I think this is a great way to set this up. So, and then when we go down to the actions, a few notable options would be to an alert an end user. You could definitely do that. You can post to Microsoft Teams or even into a Slack channel. A lot of people like to utilize this as well. So again, one of my favorite features inside of Syncro, and hopefully you guys find that beneficial too. If you have questions, let me know. Absolutely love it. We ready for the fun stuff? All right. Hopefully you guys didn't see the previous slide, but I have the pleasure, since Andy is not here, to share 2 new features with you guys that are going to be our delighter features rolling out. I actually believe they're in your instance right now. If you guys can blurt them out before I get to it, then good job. That's awesome. The first one, I'm going to pop over into my alerts tab. I have a lot of alerts here. It would be really awesome if I could run a bulk action and run a script, right? So now I can select all, I could pick and choose which devices. I'm going to go to bulk actions and boom, new tab. I can run a script in bulk if I want to. You'll see, of course, how many devices. So I have a ton of alerts here, but it's only associated with 2 devices. So you're definitely going to see that. Any scripts that you've added from the community script library and added into your own collection, or of course, anything that you've added on your own will be here. And then of course, I can choose when I want to run these. I can skip offline. I love that you could also schedule this just right from here too. So Hopefully you love this one. This is something that came up all the time. I know back in my open office hour days and when we were running the community driven track and you guys could request from the Facebook group or the community forum. This one came up all the time. So awesome. That one should be in your account now. And then you guys are probably like, whoa, Brandi, you have a ton of tabs open. This is nothing. I normally have about 40 tabs open in one screen. You can't see anything different quite yet because I didn't want to tease this to you guys. But what's really awesome is last session, I think it was like 3 weeks or less ago, they asked, what would you guys like to see? What quality of life feature would really make your life easier, better, just maybe something that was an annoyance for you. And someone mentioned tabs, that they have tons of tabs open all the time. They're similar to me. And it says my business name. Well, now you'll actually see that these tabs, if I hover over it, it's going to tell me the customer's name, customer contact. This is going to show up on tickets, estimates, and invoices. So if you guys are tabbing out all the different things, those are going to show up there. So it just goes to show that if you guys do have any suggestions for us, those are taken to heart. Like this one came to fruition so fast. I'm really excited about it, and hopefully you guys are too.
Good stuff. It's fun. It's fun releasing these things like during the webinar.
Yes.
All right. So fun stuff. Small changes make a big deal. So those are the delighters. Okay, next I want to talk about some new resources we have available for folks. Jennifer on our team recently launched this awesome new podcast called Workflow. So if you go to our website, you'll see that there's now a podcast with 3 episodes available. She's interviewing awesome people throughout the industry. These are not necessarily things that are even related to Syncro, but they're things that should help your MSP. So you can start to check out our podcast that she's working on. Just wanted to shout that out. Next up, we did a webinar a little while back that I wanted to highlight. I know we're going into a time of potential economic turmoil. So this was very timely. There was a webinar about the essentials of cash flow management for MSPs. Again, you can find this on the resources section of our website. So just wanted to shout that out. Lastly, the infamous Andy, who is not here today, but usually is one of the co-hosts here, has written a book, if you don't know that, based on a lot of his past experience. And it's called So You Want to Be an MSP, a sales-driven mindset. We are giving away that book, courtesy of Andy, on the website. I will post a link to that. So if you want to download and read the ebook, we're giving it away for free. And I highly recommend it. It's definitely in Andy's voice.
Same. Yes.
Okay. That's all the scheduled programming we have. We're open for questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to post them in whatever streaming platform you're on as a comment, or if you're in Zoom, you can put them in the Q&A and Brandi and I will get to them.
Yes, I saw a comment in here from Peter that was him who suggested that. So he was high-fiving himself. So we really appreciate that suggestion.
Yes, that's awesome. I've got a question here from John. Are there changes us MSPs should make to help with the scheduling scripts issue? We appreciate the willingness to do different things, but no, there's not really anything on your end that you should do. We will fix it. Okay.
One in here from Jeff, he's giving us a suggestion for idle time. So I'm going to take that to our team also.
Yeah, that's a good one. Somebody wants to get rid of the word ticket in the tab.
Oh, I don't see that. Oh, do you see it elsewhere? Okay.
Yeah, it's in
ticket. Yeah. Okay. Baby steps, right?
Yeah. Question here. When will we be able to customize our dashboard? I'm assuming you mean like the dashboard, like metrics page. Good question. Maybe email me, ian@syncromsp.com. I'm working on some stuff that's not related to that page, but is related to metrics. And I'd love to run some things by you. I can't see, it says anonymous attendee. I can't see your name. So if you want to email me, yeah, I'd love to talk to you.
I see a question in here from Rick, and Rick, let me know if I'm off the rocker here, but you say communications coming in from the app, can a customer contact be created automatically? Let me know if this is not what you're referring to, but I'm just going to share my screen really quickly. A lot of people actually don't know that this exists. So if you open up a customer here, and then you go to edit the customer, and then you toggle over to custom fields. If you add a domain here, if you get an email from this particular domain, it'll auto create a contact under this customer for you. So let me know if that's not what you're talking about. But again, go into a customer, edit, and toggle over to custom fields.
Nice. Can we get a follow-up on Stripe ACH support? It was in an early adopter program, and TLDR, it's complicated. I can't really give you an update at the moment. We want it to work well, so we'll have to come back to that. Rick had a follow-up for you.
Not an email, the app in icon bar. I might be confused on that.
Yeah, you might have to elaborate, Rick. Let's see here. I need to pause.
There was another question about Stripe, but you answered it. So got that one.
How do you assign a contact a computer for them to get remote access to? You want to show the Stripe, the Splash Top stuff?
I sure can. So let me just pull up a customer here. One thing I want to make sure you guys know with this is that you're going to give them access to either their own devices that are assigned to them, or you're going to give them access to all. So if you pop over into a customer and you go to contacts, there is enable remote access. And then if I go into the admin section, and this has been a long time since I've done this, guys. So I think it's in the permissions, right? Let me just pull, I'm going to get you guys the right one. Portal, user permission groups. Let me just populate this one. So you can see assets, and you can say, you can see view mine or view all. So you would want to select if they could see all of them in the organization, or if they would only have access to their own.
Nice. Question from Chai. Suggestion: we should have the ability to run a script from the customer devices. Oh, like in the system tray icon. That one is an obvious feature request, and then when we've talked about it, there have been some security concerns. I think that was the reason we haven't done it.
Yeah, it's definitely been requested for a while, but I think there's a lot more to that one. If you're talking about the system tray menu specifically.
Yeah. I like this feature request from Brian. Under ticket automations, there's no way to change issue type after a condition is set. It would help us with organizing tickets. Yeah, I like that one. I mean, that's a great quality of life change.
Yep. I'm gonna add that one.
Oh, here's another one from Jordan. One of our technicians this week mentioned it would be great from the appointments section of a ticket to click on those 3 dots and convert an appointment to a labor item in the log. So I just want to make sure I understand. So in terms of like the appointment is an hour in duration, you'd want to add an hour to the labor log. Just want to make sure I understand.
I have a follow-up question about the contact being assigned to an asset and how actually to get that done. So let me just populate that for you. Sorry about that one if I missed it. So there's a couple different ways that you can do this. You can do it from inside of an asset. I personally think the easiest way, like if you just have a list of your assets here, you can change the contact. So it's going to pull the contacts that are assigned with that particular customer. If you guys don't see contact here, you can always customize the tabs that are shown. A lot of people don't know we have that. So there's a ton of information you can put here, but this is how you would physically assign the contact to the asset. So if Cindy had 4 different assets and I was giving her permission to her own devices, then you would do so there. Oh, Jeff, just in response to the domain to the contact is good. Can we take that a step further to contains so we can add a phone number? My ticket flow is new voicemail to transcript to ticket. The from email is the same domain, but includes the client phone number. So we will take that to the team.
Mm-hmm.
It always helps us when you guys have feature requests too, to give it like paint the picture of how this would either help you be more efficient, make you more money. Those are usually the first ones that we can get out the door for you guys.
This one from Rick. It's interesting. When the RMM client is loaded on the computer, you can set up a support request via agent contact form. When a user fills that out, a ticket is created, but no customer contact is created. Meaning, like, if you didn't know about a contact ahead of time.
Like if the contact is not assigned to the asset. Probably.
Yeah, so the computer is more of a terminal. It's not owned by a particular employee of that company.
Yeah, he says yes, correct.
Uh-huh.
It can't happen today. It cannot auto create a contact today.
Right. You'd almost need like what? You'd need like a drop down in the contact form where they could select who they are.
It does. So it will still capture, like when you put in the email address and name, it'll still capture that. And then it puts it in yellow. It puts it in a private note inside of the ticket.
Yeah.
And in that case, it is an extra step because you still have to either go assign it or create the contact,
Right.
But at least it's captured. But we hear you, Rick.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's a question in here about like SLAs as a ticket automation. I think that was a request for like a quality of life feature as well. So, keep those suggestions coming.
Yeah, question here about a formal integration with Connect Booster. We have some stuff we're looking into that should be functionally equivalent if it's viable.
John, I haven't read through yours yet, but would really like to have a log added to the ticket, a private note maybe, when adding a charge to a ticket, anything that helps my tech or billing department as a reminder the charges are added. Okay.
Oh, we got one here for you, Brandi.
Oh,
any new Acronis news? Have you opened it up to any more regions?
Great question. So Officially just launched in New Zealand and Australia. So yes, we are adding new regions. If you happen to be in one of those areas and maybe you contacted us a month or 2 months ago, definitely reach back out. Also, just with Acronis in general, if you have not provisioned an account, I'll just throw this out there. You can email, and I'll put it in here, sales@syncromsp.com. It goes right to me. And I will get you a provisioned account. If you already use Acronis and you want to take advantage of our very competitive pricing, and you want to migrate, you can also send me an email with a copy of your invoice and we'll get you migrated. So we'll take care of you guys.
Cool. Got one here from Peter that I think I will need to say out loud so that I can understand it. Customer email disclaimers take up too much space on my tickets. Rather than a technical solution, I thought perhaps there was a simpler one. If there's no legal basis for disclaimers in emails, can I just convince my customers to get rid of them? Syncro, you can help every MSP on the planet with this. The answer is possibly yes. The first email disclaimer was between a legal firm and a client in regards to the principle of attorney-client privilege. Legal disclaimers have no legal precedence in terms of any other profession whatsoever. Thus, if a plumber adds a disclaimer to the bottom of his emails, it's utterly pointless. Yeah, they're like the equivalent of like chain mail. As a Canadian MSP, I'm too cheap to pay for a US lawyer to confirm this for you guys, but if you confirmed it, you might make a lot of us happy. Yeah, I don't know why people just put things in their footer and think that it makes a difference. But I'm not, I mean, we could tell you guys that. I don't I don't know that it would make much of a difference. So I mean, sure, we could confirm that, but I think all of us probably know that you can't just send an email to someone and it's a binding contract. Well, I hope all of us know that. Apparently some people don't.
Yeah, it's hard to get people to read the full thing these days anyways, so.
Yeah.
There are a lot of suggestions in here, which is awesome. So I don't want you guys to think that we're ignoring them. We're taking all of your suggestions, I promise, and putting them where it matters. Jason, I see yours in here.
Yeah, you want to do Jason's?
Jason's is, I would love the feature to see an option to send a schedule link from a ticket comment to allow the end user to schedule some future time, and have it linked into the ticket in a question. The booking system will work for new tickets, but not efficient in moving current tickets along. Yeah, I think this is something that, you know, isn't like a native link today, but if you were using something, you could link it to a ticket comment and email that to somebody. Or I even think about certain ticket automations you could utilize, like when it's in a certain, not stage, but status, ticket status, you could have a link sent to them to schedule.
Yeah, I mean, also, you know, you do get the link to your personal like scheduler. You could put that in a canned response. Or, I mean, I don't remember what it's called, quick text paste. You know, there's all the little like apps you can get on your computer to just copy and paste that link.
Mm-hmm.
Will there be a Screen Connect integration? There already is a Screen Connect integration. We have Splashtop built in, which just comes with your subscription. There's Syncro Live, which also comes with your subscription. But there's also TeamViewer and Screen Connect integrations, which are bring your own license. But you can use that already.
Yep, it'll be a drop down from within inside of Syncro, so you can pick and choose. Cool. There's a question in here. Can you show me how to create a customized executive summary report for my customers? So yes, I sure can. Let me pull up my reports here. Important to note that with these reports, you can either do an executive summary report, which would of course be for your clients. An internal summary report would be, I can compare Ian's business to Andy's business, right? And see like where most of my time is going or who I need to work with to create less tickets essentially. So maybe there's some training involved. Executive summary report, let me just open up my templates here. I can just create a new report template. I'll show you guys one that's a little bit more built out, but Testing, 1, 2, 3, perfect. And then I can insert any different element here. So maybe you want it to be visual, like it's going to be a chart or graph. Maybe you want it to just be free text, but I can pick and choose, very like dummy proof here. So I can choose alerts detected, how frequently, if there are particular alerts I want to add here. Maybe you even want to have a list of all of your devices. So sometimes people like to just put a list of all devices under management for this customer. You could do so there. Let me just pull like AV. I love this particularly for, whoops, I need to show you guys one that's built out, but I love to show this for internal report, because I could go say, hey, this customer has 180 devices, but only 30 of them are protected. So you could show things like that. This is, of course, just filler information. It's not accurate until you actually run that, but tickets by type, how many tickets. Definitely want to utilize these for your quarterly business reviews with your clients, maybe at the end of the year, beginning of the year, when you're talking about negotiations, so you can truly show your value. A lot of you are an all-you-can-eat type model. But this is truly where you can show a client your value. I want to go back and show you guys one that's already in here. Let's just see here. I don't know when this was made, but this will give you guys a good view. So I have like full asset list here, the breakdowns, what type of devices, AV coverage, how many threats have been detected. So again, if you're using a managed antivirus through Syncro, those will populate here. How many tickets have been opened, my average first response time, resolution, anything and everything can be here. And of course, you can create these different headers. So truly customizable. You guys can use this.
Nice. Question here from John. More visibility for added charges when viewing a ticket would help so much. Like the areas like worksheets or labor log section, I could see added charges in an area like that. Okay, reconciling that in my head. So in other words, if you could see the ticket charges and what they're tied to on the ticket detail page. So like if they're tied to a worksheet. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Jimmy is asking about the bring your own remote links back on the relevant assets under tickets. This disappeared as soon as RMM Splashtop was released. This causes more clicks. I promise, Jimmy, I've had this discussion. Andy and I actually talked about this previously, so I can assure you it is something that that we are requesting. I have no, I don't get to make the roadmap, but we can sure give your suggestions. And I think, this is something we used to have. So for sure. Oh, okay. Stay tuned, Jimmy. That's why they don't invite me to these things anymore. And then Rick is asking, is there a standard place for sharing SNMP OID monitor recipes? There's very few being shared. I do agree with there's very few being shared. When you go into, let me just populate this real quick. When you go into the admin section, you want to do a quick search. There's a lot of things in here. So you see your OID recipes here, and there are public links. So you can remove, obviously, if you don't want this to be public, but someone kind of has to have that. I'll have to double check and see if the link, I know one of our users, it is not created by Syncro, but one of our users actually made like an OID recipe doc. Let me see if it's still alive.
That would be cool.
There was one. So let me just look real quick. And I had that one bookmarked. So
I guess people could also share them in the community.
They could.
Forums.
Yep, they definitely could. But I'm going to search my email for that right now. I know.
Jeff is asking when you're done with that for a short demo on ticket worksheets.
Yep, I can definitely show you that. 1 second.
Jeff also says he posted many OIDs on Reddit. Did you post that in the MSP subreddit or the Syncro subreddit, Jeff? So folks can search.
All right. Yes, I got one for you. Popping it in chat. Disclaimer, this is not created by Syncro. This was created by a user. It's been shared by a lot of us for a long time. And someone shared this in the Facebook group, but they have not been vetted and tested by Syncro. So there is that. Jeff, let me show you worksheets. I love worksheets. All righty. So I'm going to pop into the admin section real quick, and then I'm going to go under tickets, and I'm going to go to ticket worksheets. Cool thing about ticket worksheets is you can pick and choose if a worksheet is going to be required for you to be able to close a ticket, like 100% complete. There may be certain tasks, like maybe your technicians work on a specific ticket type that you're like, it's crucial. Every single one of these steps has to be completed before this ticket can be closed. That's absolutely a possibility. And you can also have a lot of different worksheets on, like, I might have a ticket with 2 or 3 different worksheets. That's okay. If anyone's here from internal, love to use worksheets for, like if you're onboarding a new employee, maybe there's certain things that, like, you know, the IT department needs to get them distributed, like their printer, their computer, and then get their email set up. Tons of different ways to utilize this. So I'm going to just say this is AUA. Let's create a ticket worksheet template here. They could be text boxes, check boxes, drop downs, you name it. And you can, of course, choose a specific custom field type. Now, what's cool about this is maybe I want to say, all right, I put a link for an agent contact form on their system tray menu. When they click, I have a virus, it creates a virus removal ticket, and boom, I have my few steps that I need to get accomplished on this ticket. That's awesome. So if you want this to auto attach to a certain ticket type, as soon as you open that custom field, it's of course going to populate this. So you can definitely do that. And then of course, if you have a couple different ones right here, I can update this. Now let me show you ticket in action. And let's just open this one up. And I'm going to say, you know what, I could actually create one on the fly if you just say, hey, I want to collect some information, or I can go ahead and manually add any of these here onto mine. So you can see these. If it's just yourself, excellent. A way I would use this if it was just myself is I want to streamline the process. Maybe I learned how to do something and I never want to have to try to learn how to do that again. Here's my steps. Or if you have technicians that work under you, I want to make sure everyone follows the same step each time. But it is time stamped with the technician who completed the work. So you can see that. Hopefully that helps.
I got one here from Dwayne. I have a client needing SplashTop remote access for their office PC. They need dual monitor support, showing both monitors simultaneously. I understand this is not a feature in the RMM version of SplashTop. That's true. Are there any conflicts to add a business access subscription of SplashTop to a machine with the RMM version already installed? Any chance this could be offered by Syncro at an added cost? Okay. I actually am not sure whether there's a conflict between installing both of those at the same time. That's a very good question. I am talking to SplashTop about how we might be able to enable that functionality for folks. So yes, I am talking to them about it. It is possible. I don't know yet. That hasn't become real. So I'm working on it.
Cool. Question in here, just a follow-up from Peter. So when customers open tickets using the Syncro taskbar app, Syncro creates a worksheet along with it about 80% of the time at random. Is this a known bug? I'm not familiar with this. So what I want to say is that I think what's happening is you guys are going to have to keep me honest here so that I know where are my policies. Policies. Agent contact form. My guess is what's happening is if you'll just click in here, Peter, and go to your policies and then go to agent contact form. My guess is you have a custom field type, which is attached to a certain worksheet type, and that's why it's creating it. So I would double check this first, unless this is, maybe you say, Brandi, you're crazy, like this is known. I haven't had anyone else mention it to me. So I would double check your settings there.
Got one here from Brian. How's work going on security features? single sign-on, IP whitelisting, etc., preventing malicious scripts, preventing bad actors from getting in. We'll start with the last one, preventing bad actors from getting in. We've done a lot of work there, and that has dramatically reduced the number of times that's happening. So I feel like that's a bit of a non-issue now. We still definitely monitor and have lots of processes in place for that, but we've not seen the level of activity that we were before. I'm not going to go into like what we changed, but we changed many things on that front in order to combat that, and that has worked. In general, we are placing a high priority on additional security features such as the IP allow list and single sign-on. We're evaluating the best way to implement that, and that is a high priority for us. So you don't have to convince us to do it, is another way of saying it. We know. So hopefully I answered that question.
I have one in here just for the agent contact forms filled out from the agent tray on the end user side. Can custom fields created in the custom field type be shown so the end user can pre-fill? Any agent contact form currently assigned for an asset through policy only represented the same static fields: name, email, phone, subject, description. It would be nice to have those fields filled in upon users submitting ticket. So I think that is an absolutely amazing request. Today, they cannot do that. It's definitely been a request to be able to pre-fill or to allow the end user to fill out more fields and have more customized options. So great request. I've heard it before.
Seth, are there any plans to have ticket type subcategories to allow better flexibility with worksheets and reporting? I don't know of any current plans for that. But if you want to elaborate on like how that would impact your workflow, I'd be happy to share that with the product team. Got a question on Facebook. What would you use the report builder to create would you use the report builder to create reports on all tickets for a period of time for a specific customer with what has been done, or is there a canned report for that?
You could for sure do that. There's also, let me just pull up a few reports. I kind of like using the executive summary report because it's a builder and you can really make it like very specific to that customer instead of like creating 4 different reports to show them. You're pulling it all into one, and it's also prettier. So I recommend this one, honestly. But you can definitely look at specific, like if you want to pull all tickets, there's so many different reports in here. But if you want to, I haven't clicked into any of these for quite a while, but you can definitely look at tickets per customer. You can look at a specific amount of time. Just a plug for the executive is that you can also, I mean, a lot of them are schedulable. I recently learned that that's a word. So that they're schedulable, and you could just have it automatically sent to them once a month or once a quarter. You're not having to lift a finger and remember who you forgot about. So I would probably use that one. I'd recommend that.
Cool. Let's see. Jeff says single sign-on would be great. It's awesome. Glad that would work for you. Yeah, my thought there is that if you are doing single sign-on with Office 365, like you already get a bunch of security features with that. So that would be great. Okay, I think we're good. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for all your questions and everything. Thanks for joining and taking the time. We appreciate it. Have a good rest of your week.